Welcome YouTube to Split Screen Games' very first news broadcast, and I'm your host, Bubbalo. And today we are going to be discussing whether or not the PS Vita is officially dead. Now, according to IGN and a couple other prominent news sites for gaming, Sony Computer Entertainment President Andrew House has labeled the PS Vita as a legacy platform. As the device continues to struggle outside of Asia, it's just not getting the same kind of success as the PSP was. I guess it's about time that Sony decides to cut its losses. But what exactly is this legacy platform business? Well, Sony has since released a statement to clarify what Andrew had meant by legacy platform. And it's basically they are just writing off all the first generation components for the Vita, which means you'll no longer be able to go out and get brand new PS Vita 1000 models with the OLED screens. You're not going to be able to get that anymore. That's done. And they are still going to be supporting the PS Vita 2000 and beyond and the PS Vita TV models. That's still going to be around. But yeah, this is kind of bad. You know, looking at this, it's just like, this is the start. You know, they were talking about decreasing PS3 sales, and the way you do that is you start getting rid of older models of the PS3, and then eventually the newer models get cut out. And you know, to start doing that with the Vita now, that's kind of worrisome, because even though they did say that they're sticking with their mobile gaming, it just doesn't you know, leave you that confidence with the device, because you know they're getting rid of one model altogether. They're just going to discontinue it. So what's to say, you know, the PS Vita TV, which is doing really bad, you know, that might be next. And then they might start cutting out the PS Vita 2000 models until, you know, you really can't get one in the West. You got to import. But yeah, this is crazy. Because I was a day one buyer. I bought my Vita day one. It came out on my birthday, actually, the day of my birthday in the West. I since have given that Vita away to one of my friends, and I imported the Soul Sacrifice one that they had in Japan, and I've been loving it ever since. And I have so many games downloaded on my Vita. So many. I have to have at least 25 games on that memory card. But yeah, why is Vita doing so bad? Let's look at that. Well, first of all, let's start with the games. Now, I love the Vita's games. I love all of them. And I don't care whether or not they are multi-plat ports or, you know, these kind of weird Japanese exclusive games. I don't really care. I like the Vita's games. I really love it. I play my Vita more than I do my 3DS, and I love my 3DS. I have, you know, I'm a big Pokemon guy. I'm a big Zelda guy, and for these games to come out of nowhere and take my attention away from all that, that's really saying something, because I am a crazy Pokemon fanatic. I go crazy with those games. And as I look at the library, it impresses me, but then as I put things into perspective, I can see why many gamers don't really, especially in the West, they aren't feeling it. Because yeah, these games really appeal to that Japanese and the Asian market, you know, and it really catches their attention. You know, over there, home consoles, they're struggling. You know, they're not really doing as well as the handheld like the 3DS and the Vita. So all those games and all those types of games, they just keep them busy for days. You know, they could take it with them everywhere in their busy lives. Some of the features, I also think, well, because we're gonna go into features now, I just think they just didn't live up to the full potential. If you all remember the original 3G model when that first came out at launch, because that was the one I had, was the original 3G. It was pretty dumb. I'm not even gonna lie, because you had to, in order for you to use your 3G, you had to, sign up with AT&T, and I think they would give you about 200 megabytes of free data every month, and that wasn't even worth it. And yeah, you couldn't do much with it, because I'm trying to think. You couldn't play online. I think all you could do was browse the internet. I think you could. There was no Skype at the time. Yeah, I think you could just browse the internet and check your friends list on PlayStation, your messages. But it wasn't good for any gaming. And that was one of the big selling points, because, when I saw the commercials when the Vita first came out, they were like, oh, play anywhere. Like, you see the guy, he would load up MLB on the PlayStation, and then he would do the cross save, and then you see him, like, going out down the street, and, he's supposed to be able to play anywhere. And, that whole 3G could have worked, but they really shot themselves in the foot with that. They really should have tried to push like LTE and just allowed you to pop in like any provider. Like, I have T-Mobile, just put my T-Mobile SIM card in there and have, unlimited access to my account. So, I'd be able to just play games on the go. That'd be cool. That would be cool. But, Sony missed that opportunity. Yeah, I really would have liked to see more like app functionality, because that's the way the Vita's its OS. When you look at the screen, you see all the apps and stuff laid out in bubbles. That's really cool. That's really nice, but there's just not a whole lot. If you don't like the games, there's not your screen is going to look very empty, because Sony doesn't have a whole lot of apps for the Vita. And I was hoping they would have went with maybe some kind of hybrid OS, their custom OS that allows the games to run, and that's locked down to keep hackers out. But then you have the ability to boot up, the Play Store, and they wouldn't have had to worry about dropping YouTube support, the app for that, because that would have been through the Google Play Store. And you would have been able to download that. You could have downloaded emulators. You could have did whatever you want. And it would have made the Vita 1,000 times more popular than it is now. Because let's face it, it was $250. At the time, 32 gig memory cards were the highest they went up to. And those were like $120. Yeah, $120 for 32 gigs. Because it's proprietary. And there was not a whole lot of other game software. They had Uncharted and Gravity Rush at launch. Oh yeah, some golf game and a couple. I think there was like 6 games total at launch. So it's just, if they had like a Google Play Store, or if they even tried to like team up with Google to bring compatibility with all those apps to the Vita, that could have been a real game changer, because then people would have, they would have had a need for it. Like real gamers like us, we could bring our Vita with us anywhere we wanted and still had access to all those apps we love. But they didn't do that, and they haven't really built that app library. I really hope that in the future, if they continue to stay in the mobile gaming, I want them to bring, if they could turn things around with the Vita and introduce more appealing games, that'd be nice. And what they could do is like a lot of these cross-platform games that they have with the PS4, make it like a Vita exclusive, like make it a timed exclusive, like 6-7 months. Lock it down. Try not to leak out that it's coming to the PS4. Kind of get your consumers to have to pick up a Vita, and let them play around with it and let them see how great it is when they play these games and they get to see how great it is, and then you release it on the PS4. I mean, that's kind of trickery, but you got to do what you got to do if you want to sell your product. And that's one way to do it. But if they decide to abandon the Vita, I want them to come back with another console, and I want them to really try and think outside the box as far as I have the Xperia Z3 as my phone, and it's a really good gaming phone because I use the remote play, and it really does work. But they could bring that whole thing to their next handheld, where you have like this Android device, you have your custom OS, because it's still Android, but it's also custom with Sony. With that phone, I have to wait for Sony to give me the update and not Google. So they do their own thing to their OS. Bring that to the Vita. Bring things like waterproof, dustproof, that kind of stuff, and bring that that Brava screen over. That looks nice. I'm not gonna lie, the Z3 has a really nice screen. Raise the specs and try to keep it as affordable as possible, because look at the Nexus 4, very powerful phone, only I think it was $250 for that entry level phone. But we'll see what Sony does. I hope they can turn things around and really, really make the Vita and any future mobile devices successful. And they need the help, because Nintendo's supposed NX is supposed to be a really powerful handheld. But we'll see, everybody. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you all think about Sony, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.